Right.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. This is today's. Did you like my word, perplexation? I was looking at it thinking this is flipping perplexing. Anyway.
Well, you were saying about everybody's got their dread. This is mine.
Oh dear. Actually, I've never drawn glass before, so
No.
wait and see what happens.
I think it's the window in the background is a bit scary.
Yeah.
I think when
you look at it, there's so many different sort of aspects of it, isn't there? And
yeah, when I was here yesterday and I was sat down with me board in front of me like that here, and then I'd zoom into the picture, you know, and then I'd scan around and I'd sketch a bit more, try and get clarity. Yeah, I gave up in the end. I thought, no, this is getting silly. You just got to go with your flow, I think.
So you're not going to put the lady hanging her washing out in the house behind?
Kind of me, there isn't. I can't even see.
Which picture have you got, Christy?
Got a vivid imagination.
What did that doctor put in your arm? In your shoulder?
Nothing yet.
Oh, sure. This is going to be an interesting day. I like, but I did a line drawing as well, so we'll just have it. It's just one of those things. Just going to have to say cobblers and go for it. Maybe. I've done mine on a portrait as well, so I don't know what possessed me to do that. It just seemed like a interesting way to do it. Well, no, me, it's because well, I've done the last few pictures landscapes. I thought, changed good as a rest. Why not? I don't know about you guys, but I've got a folder that I've been putting the ones that we do in every week, and it's getting heavier and heavier.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that.
I bought a special box, an archive container to put it in, but it's even that one. Some of them were too big, so I've got a plan B think up there.
That's why I've gone over to paper, because mine were all on canvases, and they're just take
up a lot of room.
Yeah.
I've changed my microphone, so.
Here we go. This could be the last time. Yeah, I printed out a little baby version. Let's see. No, I think I'm stuck with that size. It's not too bad. It's at a 30-degree angle. Well, all you can do, and my plan is, paint what you see. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that we might be using a bit of white at some point. But the black and white's print gives a little bit of an insight to where we need to go. But I think it's just got to be a sort of, what's the word? Not, think contemporary really, and just don't get too bogged down with intimate detail. That's the right term. I think my first plan is to get a wad of water in one of my, I'm actually going to spray it, pool of water in a couple of the trays. and then dollop some paint in. I haven't tested this or tried anything out. I just thought, no, I'm not going to. I'm just going to go on the day. This is blue, by the way. It isn't related to where I'm going to be in a minute. One thing I do notice using watercolor is when I come to clean my buckets, I've got a couple of buckets of water, old yogurt pots, Greek yogurt pots. When I come to clean them, you know, empty them, you know, the deposit on the bottom is quite
Oh yeah, I get that.
big
Yeah.
grey sludge. That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I might do is what I'd say. I've added burnt sienna to that, which if I use a bit of paper, you can just do a swatch. We know we're going to get a grey, so we can manipulate our grey to our heart's content and make it fainter or lighter. I was going to use grey out of a tube, but I thought, no, don't cheat. But once you've got a nice pool of grey, you can warm it up with more red, cool it down with blue. So it's got endless possibilities. One thing I was thinking about the other week, or during the week rather, even, was how do you, that's quite a strong grey. So in order to take it down, how do you do that? Well, take the colour that we've got and put it in another clear palette holder and with more water that'll thin that one down, so it will become thinner, weaker color or softer color than the one that preceded it. And you can do that ad infinitum. So if I then move it across to that one, now that's weaker than that one, so you end up with different strengths of the same original color. Obviously you still need to make sure your brush is clean, but as you say, it goes much lighter as we get down to that stage. You need to wipe your brush off, otherwise you're going to take the color from one puddle into another. Nice. The issue we've got though is how faint to make it. It's almost, on the image I'm looking at, it's almost like dirty water. So I think you're just going to have to make a decision and say, I'm just going to go with the mix that I've got. And which I said right at the start, at some point I can imagine we're going to use up some whites. The other perplexing issue is the color of the glass. Now, this is just Hooker's green. And I was considering it earlier, thinking, what green is it? It's down to individual eyesight, I think. Hooker's green, and that's just a little bit of yellow mixing in with a load of water. But one of the things I was considering was how to paint it, and I decided that I was going to go back to traditional watercolor thinking and methodology, and look at the thing as a whole. So if I'm looking at the bottle, I've done that a few times over the years as well. I'm lucky here. I've got I'm going to try it. I've got a small flat brush. What's that? Centimeter, half an inch. So I'm just going to use that. and try and miss the white label. That's what, when Gordon mentioned it, I thought, oh, wouldn't mind the bottle of wine. And I thought, well, it's difficult to tell what it is. It could be they put a white label on it for some reason. Obviously advertising. Don't know.
Mm.
So anyway, what I decided I would start with was to just get a very faint mix of green and start with the bottle. Just to set but I'm looking at the bottle and trying to find the lightest color in it. The lightest the lightest green, which is the background, isn't it? It's the tint. Whereas Christine will probably squint her eyes up and find the darkest color, painting the darkest color. There's nothing wrong with that. We can do that in watercolor as well. Often it's an interesting way of doing it. Nothing wrong. You can do it with the portraits. And and from that, once you've got that stage, we've got rid of that piece of blank paper, that piece of white paper now. So all fear and apprehension has gone out the window. You guys. I don't know. I haven't got room to put in the screen to put my the one that I'm using, my little print at the moment. Anyway, got green in my brush. Oh no, horrible. One color I didn't want on the boards, on the windows frames, was green. So I'm just gonna. I've actually got a bit of window on the end of my edge of my paper as well. So at this stage, we're blocking in, right? We're looking for, just set the tone. Going to have to be careful there. Like I say, I think this painting is one of those that demands some serious sit-down planning. If you want to get it to depends how you want it. Personally, I don't. I'm not fussed. I'm just going to go for it. I think maybe.
Where's your dog? I thought I heard a bark. Okay.
The amount of grey. Need to mix up a lot of grey right at the start. Whether I get enough, do the whole painting is going to be an interesting thought. Of course, what we're going to end up with is not a struggle. What's the word? A battle, or a sort of fight between where do we leave clean paper and where do we not to form the whites. Fortunately, I've still got loads of dirty water, really, isn't it? It started off as grey paint, but it's turning into dirty water. Or whatever. I think what I'm going to do is go against the grain and grab some, this side of the blue, I think is cerulean. 100% it is. That I'm gonna have to wipe my palette out, that edge. And make an adjustment. Find some cerulean blue. It's quite nice. Don't need a lot. Even that horizon blue from last week would be nice. I'm going to make the table damp. No fear here. I'm going to make the table damp.
Brilliant.
Just clean water. Try and miss off the pots, glasses, pots, whatever they're called.
Yeah, cool.
And so I think the one thing you need to make sure on this picture more than ever is that you've got a piece of clean tissue in your hand ready to mop up anything that you're not 100% with. And this blue, I'm just going to drop it in where it's, let it do some stuff. There's a kind of reason why I'm doing this. Well, there is a sort of method behind my madness. I've missed not saying, Carol, what shall I do for the background? So I'm thinking,
God.
I've been thinking to myself, I need to, we've got a couple of portraits in the pipeline.
Oh gosh.
One of them, oh look, that stuff is so wicked. Did you see that? It's that rose madder colour. It just destroys me every time. I only touch it and it makes the whole so strong. I've never seen anything, never known colour like it. All I was going to do is add a little bit of that into the blue that I've put in. Well, now I'll have to lift it off a bit. It was just a bit of shadow. Never mind. My next port of call, hopefully the picture frames have dried off bare, was going to make the windows dark, wet even, clean water that's still got some of that rose madder attached to it. Amazing. I don't know what the heck they put in it, what they make it with, but it must be the fiercest. I know Alzerian crimson traditionally is quite fierce.
It's awful, but I'm happy that you are.
Well, it's just how
I had a
he's-
call from Stephen
how he's talking about
a couple of days ago. It's the same one I get. Well, a bit embarrassing. I think I was on the loo at the time, and sometimes things you just got to do things, don't you? And I mean, take phone calls, and
My
So,
problem.
where am I going here? Yeah, so when we're going back, David, when am I going? Yeah, it's what you says all the time. When's Easter? I said,
Hmm.
well, and we might have a party. Dear, dear. I've given up on all that. It's politics, isn't it? It's good fun.
Mhm.
It's garbage, the whole lot. I mean, without, I mean, everyone's got their own opinions, but what denotes a party? I can assure you that the people that are spreading the bad news, like the newspapers, in their offices, they were having parties. And I was
Yeah.
watching them right from the word go when they were out and about trying to interview Matt Hancock and what have you. There was like 8 or 9 of them all in a gaggle with their cameras. They weren't observing any lockdown rules. They couldn't give a monkeys. They just wanted to get the story. And the woman 2 doors down from me, she was having shindigs all the time. And even Melanie was saying, which is, you know, Mel's not that sort of person, but I remember her saying, I'm going to ring the police. I'm going to report this. This is outrageous. So I think the key thing is, what denotes a party? I understand, you know, if I met someone in the park for 5 minutes and 3 other people came out and all of a sudden I've got a party, I suppose. I'd find it. And I don't like Tories anyway. But I don't know. Maybe it's the English trait, isn't it? Support the underdog. In this case, it's not a good thing to do. I need to stop doing it. What am I doing here? Anyway, right. I just added a bit of raw sienna into the background. I thought I might make it look like there was a sky out there. Does that make sense? Well, when it's dry, I can, hence the reason I was putting a little bit of blue on the table so that there was some sort of reflection. Probably because you could say it's a glass table. It's fine for the minute. Food for thought. Like I always say, if I make the mistakes, then you don't need to. I've got that little bit of dark grey. I've got 2 tubs of water and I'm trying to keep one clean. That's because I'm thinking I'm going to need that in a minute. That's the dark grey. So I'm just going to stick it on there for now. Because at some point I'm going to need that. Poor Anne.
Yeah.
Sound bad, gosh.
Right. Do I or don't I? The rest, as they say, is we've got a decision to make on the on our bottle of wine. I'm just going to let the background and all that sort itself out now.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Pardon?
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah. The
You
decision.
look
Sorry.
If you can get that in.
Oh, I think a Merlot then.
All you can do.
Maybe that's not what Dave meant.
All I'm going to do is I've got my 3 greys that I started with, so I'm just going to utilize them. But what I was going to say a minute ago was the decision that needs to be made on the grey or the base of the bottle. Do we put in drop in a little bit of crimson, and how, knowing the state of my rose madder that I use being so strong, is it a good idea to do it? Is it going to muck the whole painting up? Because even though it's a green bottle, there is that under colour within it of, it's green but with a tint of red wine in the background. You can sort of sense it, can't you? You can't put your finger on it, but it's, you know it's there. So I'm just going to go with the flow there and just let that dry off. The other thing, I mean, from your watercolor exercise, it's a flipping good picture to attempt anyway, because it's all the elements. I'll just add a little bit of green to my grey. Why am I doing that? Covering my bets, because the bottle's green, isn't it? So with the undercolour is, I've got to watch this. Sometimes I'll get a pool of paint all over the picture. So my next task is to just look at the darks on the bottle. The bottle's still damp as well, so I'm just using a rigger. Ooh, very good. And what do you see? I did put 2 pencil lines using my black and white print that I did. I was just using that to denote where some lines are on the bottle. Very good. I'm getting into this now. Yeah, I think that my choice of colours aren't too bad. I'm conscious that I might be going blind. I can't. I'm thinking, am I actually I'm painting the bottle too early, and it's because I haven't done enough work on the other parts of the painting, but I don't know why. It just seems to be a thing that I want to do. Not get it out of the way, but just establish that it's something's going to happen. Set the ground for the rest of the painting, really. I think one thing I've noticed straight away is the choice of paper is critical as well. Well, for us watercolor people, it's fairly important. And this paper I'm using probably isn't the right. I think a smooth paper would probably be better. Hot press. Why not? One thing we can do though, and it did cross my mind that we probably have to do at some point, is using our tissue, we can lift paint off to form the it's all right, I didn't like the way that was going, so I'm just going to lift it off and put the grey back on, even though it's left a little bit of the tone left in with a little bit of the red. How dark is dark? But there is it's a nightmare. The more you look at it, the more the more shadows and tones you're going to find. So you have to sort of wait for it to dry and then come back to add bits to it. But one of the things I was partway through saying was using, when it's dry, we'll have to use clean water and a damp brush, and we'll be able to lift areas off to give us the extra highlights that are in there. So we'll tease them out. You're lucky if you can get to that stage straight away this morning. One of the things I'm doing on, if anyone's interested, I'll send you the link. I can't remember. There's an artist, portrait artist. I can't remember his name offhand, but he is good, well known, and he's doing an online session, Zoom. You can join in if you want. I won't do that. Portrait of actually, it's a coloured guy that he's doing the portrait of. Sent me the link. I think it was about 14 quid, and you can sort of, I think it's a Zoom, well, it is a Zoom session. Not sure the time. I think it might be 7 o'clock, something like that. I've signed up for it. Thought I might have a, never know it all, do we? Might learn something. I'm going to go away from that bottle for a minute and find some. This is the exciting bit, isn't it? Find some shadows on the glasses. So, but it's going to be so time consuming. All you can do is, I'm fortunate in a way that I've sketched a couple of this. Well, I've made lines where I figure some of the shadow bits are. Clean water, drop in some colour, some of that grey colour. Trouble is, I've got, well, where the pencil lines are, it makes it a bit of a hard line. And the stems, when I was drawing this yesterday, I was thinking one thing that it does is a good exercise for learning how to draw straight lines. Delicately painting and drawing in straight lines. So you've got that to look forward to. I was doing it yesterday and I thought, God, you know what? That's quite remarkable. How, and but what did cross my mind was I wouldn't have been able to do that back along when I was, you know, if I'd have been drinking alcohol the night before or something, your hand is naturally, it's not surgeon steady, is it? Rock steady. Well, mine never was. So I was quite proud of myself at the end of the sketch, thinking, cool, that was, wow. You know, you get those sort of moments, you think, don't know how I did it, but I did it, leave it alone, go to the next bit. And once you've done it a couple of times, your confidence grows and you suddenly think, oh, I'm not so bad now. And I did the bottle sort of whoosh in one go, still, and there. And one of the glasses, I thought, oh, blimey, I've almost got them equidistant, which I wasn't expecting not to be able to do. Yeah, mine's slightly skew with because of my pencil lines and they show up, which is good. Well, it's good for later because when I unshow them, I'm trying to steer clear from this bottle. If I don't go near it, I'll smudge it. It's really wet. It's funny, isn't it? Watercolors. The bits that are wet, is that sort of thing. You think, oh, I can't go near there because it's wet. And then there's other bits where you want them to stay wet longer so that you can come back and work on them later, or while you're beavering away. Right. But I think my top tip is probably going to be to mix up a load of grey using the blue and the blues that are in your palette. One thing I did consider, I mean, our favourite colour, well, favourite non-colour is flesh. So I'm just going to use flesh on the cork. I can't go too far down because it's still damp at the top. It's gradually building it up, isn't it? And let's have a right. Go for a pointy brush. I've got a pointy brush. I have got a pointy brush. All I've done in actual fact is use that same initial mix of grey and stuck with it. I contaminated the others by putting the red in, and so I had to stick with the initial one where I've put my. You'll see it on the line drawing. See how faint that grey is where I did the windows now, though. That spoiled the whole thing in a way. Well, as in, it's faded back so much. I'll try it on the edge first. Too much, because I want a shadow in the glass of the window. Ooh, get off. What I do with that portrait guy, or what I plan to do, is I'll film it. He won't be listening. No one listens. Nobody watches my videos. Actually, they do. They do. They're not private, they're public. So it surprises me. I get the odd message like, I think, oh, blimey. It's always a shock that you think, God, I didn't think anybody was watching. I had a message last night on one of them and I thought, oh, God. Yeah, I need to darken my windows frames, which, like a twerp, I made that one dark, didn't I? I don't want to go over that. So I'll stretch it. It'll exude all over the painting. And the window frame is in the glass. It comes out a little bit. When you do yours, try not to make the pencil lines too dark. I made mine dark so that when I do the video like this, you can see it. Otherwise, you can't see them. But hopefully, I can rub some of them out. Voila! Get a little bit more. Where's my pointy brush? Come back. Escape. So what I'm going to do is make it slightly darker in there. And the chair also, like we said, the whole picture is like the book, shades of bloody grey. myriad shades, but it's been, I think, up to now, I've quite enjoyed this. It's a definite exercise that I'm going to learn a lot from, because I can't recall ever doing this sort of thing before. It wasn't the original picture that I was planning on working with. The original still life I wanted to do was a picture that Maren and Alice had put on her Facebook page, but I thought she might get a bit funny if I pinch her image, because it was on her ocean cruise. And I thought, she runs art courses on the ocean liners for 2-3 weeks at a time, and it was one of her pictures where she was relaxing on the veranda after a hard day doing her lessons, and I thought, be a bit mean really. Well, no, because she uses those photographs that she takes for her own pictures, so I thought, what do you call it? Honourable thing to do is not to pinch one of her pictures. Now let's get a flat brush. And should we? Got plenty of grey paint left. Happy Basil? Yes, dear. Helps me through the day. And the Samaritans are engaged. It's not the right way, is it? Connie Booth, she speaks like the singer Elaine Page. She talks like her through her nose. So do I, for that matter. When she talks, and then it's more Basil, happy Basil. I know she's acting, but Elaine Page does it as well. She sings like that. She sings through her nose. No, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just highlighting it. My favourite Elaine Page is when she laughs. Oh my God. And if you're driving at the time, it's flipping dangerous. Because I think actually she used to have this Sunday radio program, and we were always driving across the New Forest on a Sunday afternoon to meet up with Grandad and one other in a restaurant over in the forest somewhere, well, garden centre. Of course, she comes on and starts that a lot. I don't want to imitate that on camera. It's nuts. But it's we're driving across the forest and that happens. So, getting back to this, I've always said when people sort of say, well, I don't know anything about, colour, painting and colour. It's one of the standard answers is learn to just paint it with one colour. Seems to have, go back to me pointy brush again. Yeah, paint it, just use one colour and see what happens. Because you'll learn all about shadow and tone, and where not to put paint. Like that. Yeah. But I'm not worried about that because I'll lift it off at some point and just add. I think for these for some of these bits, a nice 1/2 inch flat brush is perfect for just sticking a few lines in. It's my patio, isn't it? Out there, look. Just put a few bits in. And also the beauty of this is it's you're also gonna have to focus on the depth of the image. If you paint something dark, it's going to bring it forward. So you end up chasing this your image in that you think, oh, that needs to go back, that needs to come forward. So he's going to get a lot of that going on. And balance. Because parts of the tonal value is the same. For example, I'm looking at the chair, and the chair is almost exactly the same as the back of the door frame or the window. I'm not 100% sure about the final tonal values of this, because do I need the color up there or not? It's one of those, well, let's see what happens. I'm loving this fact that I'm using watercolor though, because at some point, if I'm not happy, I know I can lift it off. Painting in the negative, that's the other thing that we're learning, or we're trying to achieve. Not painting the glass or the glasses, we're just painting around and with grey. There you go, I lifted that bit off. On another day, I might well have painted the glasses white with white gouache, underpainted them, and then added the grey on top of that to give them, I don't know, what's a different feel, more solid, just for the heck of it. When I rub the pencil marks off, I think I'll be a lot happier. Let's get me blue and burnt umber together. Where are we? Blue and burnt umber. Oh, I did buy something art-wise. Naughty. I said I didn't, but I did. I was watching an artist on YouTube, and he was advertising is ebook, electronic book. So I just thought, oh, what the heck, I bought it. Bit basic. Didn't think, but never say never. Never surrender. The you just don't know. Everybody, every artist has a different, even though it's inverted commas, bog standard way of painting, you know, painting a sea or a tree or whatever. Everybody spots something and does it slightly different, which makes it amazing. And this guy did as well. There's a couple of couple of observations about painting trees that I thought, I'm going to remember that. The basic thing was that spotted and that jumped out at me was if you got like a clump of trees, like I don't know, 1, 2, 3 in a row next to each other, a bit like our winter ones, but one next to each other like that. The tops of them, there we go. If you got 3, if you get them sort of 3 in a row, at the tops, normally they are actually each form a fan top, but when they're in a row like that, the fan is like that. It's one. It's funny how they grow to make one big fan. Whereas if they were individuals, they'd each make their own fan shape at the top. But he pointed that out and I thought he's right there, you know, because that's what happens. The tree in the middle takes light from the one on the side, so he doesn't grow up. And in the end, they form an arch. Very clever. So next time we're doing trees, we're going to find some arches. Get 3, a clump of 3. So what I do, trying to find a bit of rigor. I've mixed up a little bit of blue and burnt umber with a little touch of green amongst it, which is my standard non-black color anyway. So I'm utilizing that now, just on the bottle. Let's see if I can find some dark bits to it. I did notice has a little lit bit at the top, doesn't it? Don't want to get too pedantic. I want it to be, what's the word? I don't know, fresh, I suppose. The only thing I've clean, isn't it? I think that's what we're looking at. The key word is probably just want it to be nice and soft and clean, not harsh. And he says putting dark lines where the edges. If anything, that should be the other way around. Thinking about it, the dark line should be above that, not below it. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'll show you what I'm on about. Clean water, I use the bigger brush. I put a bit of clean water above or the bottom of the window frame using a pointy brush, and then put the line of colour on the window frame. Want it that to meet the table, not the other way around. So that the dark lines at the top. I've done it stronger there than I will, but as it dries, I'll just lift it off anyway, and leaving the table clean. I know what I'm on about. Use normally to turn it upside down and let it drizzle that way. That's okay. I can lift it off in a minute. Well, I'll do it. Hang on. I'll just turn it upside down to show. Watch it. Turn it upside down. Add clean water to my brush. I want it to soften down this way into the window, not the other way into the onto the table. Always looks dark at the start, doesn't it? But watercolor, isn't it? So we intuitively know that it's going to fade back to a lighter colour. Bit of paper. Right. That was a big sigh. I'll dry it off in a minute. One thing I did say right at the beginning was that it might be one of those paintings where to complete it or to make it look, I don't know, depends how you feel about it, but it might be one of those where we just add white once it's dry. To put some highlights in, take over from Christine. We can do it too, and just make it up. But as I say, I think the choice of paper is probably not the best because it's not white paper. I don't know. I think they go right up to the top, don't they? Best thing to do is have a look, see where it goes level, which is about there, isn't it? Not that dark. Add some more water. My grey is not as light and fluffy as I wanted it. Find out where they start going straight, and that from that point on, you know that they're going to go the other way. Till they get to the top where they're quite an acute angle. Put one up there as well, just to say we've done it. I might go right to the top actually. And make them shorter, longer. Just fade them out up there. Something like that. Yeah. So if you're going to put in these shutters, probably a good way of doing it, is to look at the image and say, well, where do they start going straight in the picture, which is not far off top of the glass. So if you draw a straight one there, then you know that all the ones from that slowly go down and all the ones above it start going up. So you can get that sort of little bit of a perspective feel to it. Lovely jubbly. And then it's just painting with a brush to put in any extra. I'm still amazed how much, what sort of picture you end up with after an hour. It's quite, oh dear. It's just, I never thought I'd be able to do this. It's down to Tuesday mornings. I am slightly stumped because I can't make even the paper where there is no paint, like here, isn't looking white, isn't looking as clear and white as the piece of glass. So it doesn't matter what I do, I'm not going to get that feeling of reflectiveness. It's not, the paper's not got it in it. It's a not finished paper. So the alternative, as far as I can see, is going to be to make my shadows more prevalent, to make it look like, let's wipe that one off. They're funny, the glasses, because it doesn't seem to matter if you look at it. This is always the same with any reference image. The more you look at it, the more daft things you see. How many times have we said it? Now I look at it, I think those glasses, even in the original photo, don't look like they're on an angle. They don't look like they're sat on anything. They look like they're just plonk, they're floating. So now I've seen that and decided that I'm stuck. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my flat brush. In the palette, there is a damp patch of white paint, which I'm going to just tantalizingly float at the bottom of this image to see if it does anything. If it gives me an effect, more of a translucent effect, which it should. A bit like, I don't know. What are you doing? Jury's out on that. Somewhere I do need some shadow is Somni. Did you? Something I've never ever had on a bottle of wine. There's a pourer thing at the top, let alone the cork in it. Once it's opened, it was going. There's no way I'd have done that. I couldn't have done it. I'm such a drunk. Mel used to go mad. I said, I can't help it. I don't like the effect. I just like the taste of the stuff. You know. But now I'm not so keen, but the bad old days. Just like I just like the taste of it. Never drank more than one bottle though.
I don't like wine at all. Never have done.
It's an acquired taste. That's the danger of it though, Chrissy. It bites you. It's like anything, isn't it? It is a drug at the end of the day. Brain altering, mind changing. You can't go to one of Boris's parties without a bottle.
I remember that. I get invited.
Can you remember those party sevens as well? Did you? I mean, maybe it's not a girl thing. Maybe it's more boys. There's like a bloody great can of beer. That had 7 pints in it. Party sevens, hence the term. I've got a funny feeling that you can still get a similar type thing now. Let's have a. I'm going to have a. See if I can do it. Just going to see what happens when I put a little bit of white on there. Just on the, not on the glass yet. No, it's not going to work. It's just the nature of the paper. It's not going to yield up enough tonal value, tonal difference to make it stand out how I want it to. So I'm just mad about Harry. Oh, where that came from. Apologies. Right, it's just having a think here. It's now. I haven't got the hairdryer set up, but if I did, it wouldn't make any much difference now because it needs to be, the image needs to be really seriously bone dry. And you need one of these really stiff, it's a little stiff, thin brush. And it's just a question of going around your image and lifting out highlights where you want, where you feel that you should be able to do it with a soft brush. Well, round. All I think you have here is riggers. There's one of these type brushes, you know, the little small pointy one. It's quite good. They're not stiff, but they're not. It's just a matter of, for us watercolour guys, clean water on the brush and tissue and just go around our glass and lift off some highlights where we think they are, and even on the this bottle as well. We'll do it. We'll just do that, clean water, and spend the next 3 days lifting paint off, which is enormous fun, as you well know. But it is satisfying when it comes as it works, and you go away and look at it. And think, wow, that's something else. That was a little smudge there, which is what I said. Probably there, I've done it anyway. I've lifted it off. There was one of my little faux pas, I think, was to leave the door handle to the end or later on. Otherwise you stick your flipping hand in it. Or you want to change the tones of the background. Well, I don't know. Just put a few dark bits on that cord. And a little bit of shadow. See, it's so subtle, the tones, that just using the pot of water that I've been using, you know, the dirty water is giving me the shadow or the subtleness of the shadow on the label on the glass. So you don't need any, there's no real need of paint. What I do need though is a sort of a line in there, I think. And a line there, just maybe. And once it's dried off, we can add some more dark lines here and there. I think you'll be looking at this for weeks. Well, I won't actually, because I'm trying not to do that these days. In my drawer here, one of them is tubes of white paint. I need that one. When it's bone dry, just using the brush straight in, then we can start to add a few really bright highlights. But I'm conscious of, I don't know, I'm in a quandary of do I or don't I? Because, well, I probably will, but not a lot, because it will affect the effect of the white paper. The white paper is doing a job. And if I put white paint to make highlights, it will detract from any, it will detract the white paper is also creating some highlights. So it's interesting quandary to have, but the more you look at it, the more greys you'll see. I'm just looking there and I'm thinking, well, the stem of that glass has sound like Jeffro. That glass. Don't want to. He died the other week.
I know. I was
Yeah.
never a big fan, but Brian used to have all the DVDs. Used to love it.
He's dirty.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like about him, to be honest.
He was extremely dirty.
Yeah.
I remember he used to go on Des O'Connor's lunchtime program.
Yes.
Des was they were chummy mateos. And I remember one time he went on there and Des said, oh, hang on, I'll show you this. There was this clip of you doing it. And when he finished the clip, he said, well, where did you get that one? That was clean, wasn't it? And then I didn't quite gather what he meant, but after he died, it kept coming up on my channel, like Jeffro. So I watched some of his things and I thought, blimey, you were a bit crude, mate, to put it bluntly. So,
And they all used to hang over the farmer's gate and have their conversations.
yeah.
Yeah. He was clever, but not my cup of tea.
It didn't need to be as smutty as that.
No.
I think you could have changed some of the stories into a little bit more.
And his actual stage shows were really, really bad.
Oh no, that's the ones I've been watching on YouTube, and I'm thinking,
Well,
oh
yeah.
dear. Yeah. I think, well, no wonder Jim Davison was his best mate. They used to get up to all kinds of things, didn't they? But it was a job. I don't think he was as perverted in real life. It's just stories he heard on the building sites. That's the good. That's what I like to hear, and I find it more interesting is the stories of the things he used to get up to.
Mm.
Jim Davison said there was I think it was in, I don't know where it was now. Might have been Southampton or Eastleigh. It might have been Eastleigh actually. He was doing a show there, and the show wasn't till in the evening sort of thing, and he had hours to kill, and he used to hate that. He didn't like hotel rooms, and he'd stopped over in the night, and he got up early and decided, I'm getting out of this blooming hotel sort of thing. Went off down around the town, and he was walking past this guy, and this guy was he was building a porch on his house, at the front of his house, and Jeffro saw him there, and he stopped, and within sort of 20 minutes, he'd taken over. He'd taken over this bloke's building thing. You know, he's doing DIY, and he was telling him what to do. You want to do that? Yeah, I saw this wood like this, and he was there for hours apparently. And then the bloke's wife came out, and Jeffro thought, disappearing, and she said to him, "Who was that?" Then he said, "Do you know what? I haven't got a clue." He's been there sort of sawing up wood and telling me what to do, because he was a bit of a builder, right? And it wasn't till later on in the evening he was doing the show. He was partway through the show, and Jeffro came on stage, and there was a shout out of the audience, and there was a bloke saying to his wife, "Here, that's him. That's who it was. It was him." Well, that was great. I like things like that, but like you say, the other stuff, I'm not so keen. Call me an old fashioned, but I like of even Ken Dodd didn't do that. Count back a bit of Doddy. Bit of clean water. This is nuts, this painting. I don't know whose idea was this.
Well, it's looking very good.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay, but no, when I say it's nuts, it's only nuts because it's going to be never ending. You're going to be, well, for me, I'm going to be forever putting clean water on, using a tissue to lift off colours, trying to get the different subtleties. That, like, there's a little bit of a hard line there that if I just touch with the clean water, normally you'd leave these things until it's bone dry. Then you look at it and think, well, that's a bit darker, that shadow that side, so I can just lift that. Yeah, it's going to be some. And also, like where the window frame is, there's a light line where my pencil lines are, but I'm too scared to rub them out until perhaps tomorrow when it's bone dry. And I noticed where the chair is, there's a real fine highlight on the chair. So all you can do is spot them and using clean water on your brush, just lift them off. A bit like we were doing with the portraits, actually. Back along. But the lines are actually sort of spoiling it a bit. But I quite like the sneaky bit of raw sienna I've put up in the top. Oh, you might not be, hang on. I'll come down a bit. I've got like a little bit of raw sienna up here on the top, which it sort of it's sneaked in to the bit on the. Well, the beauty of that is, I'll do it now. It's more. It wasn't exactly by design, but it's more by gut feeling. Call it what you like. Just the way it's just later on when you come to do it. But there's no reason why. Just to take things a bit further, couldn't just grab a little bit of raw sienna or yellow and add it onto the frame of the windows. Like it's not a lot, just a subtle coating of within the frames. Just to say that some of the sunlight, some of our sunlight is snuck into our picture, just to warm it up. And raw sienna is a good colour for that because it's being an earth colour. It can go anywhere. Where do I do it? Oh, apart from when you put it in your palette and it disappears. Yeah, something along those lines. But very often that would be probably nicer to do when it dries. Could even, let me grab a bit. You could even sneak a bit on the glass. Where the reflections are. If you've got a rigger, I used to have one. I haven't bought any brushes for ages. I bought some from Sea Whites, and that was their riggers. I bought a few of those. But the raw sienna, you can drop it in subtly wherever you want. I think it might add a little bit of warmth to a pretty cold picture, really. Am I off for time, Chrissy?
1:15.
Oh, I'm getting bored, that's why. You can always tell when I'm thinking I've had enough. Well, you run out of doodah. Once at the moment, I think I'll just rub that bit off a bit there. Looking back, but I don't mind it. So it subtly comes there and it comes down there. And we're a bit, I don't know, maybe a bit more shadow here and there. Maybe it will go a bit straighter. Don't know. I'll have a think about that over the next few days. I love Wednesday mornings because by Wednesday morning it's all bone dry. And being watercolors, they do change, you know, it just sort of, you'll suddenly see subtleties like on those last weeks, the bridge. The following day, it was like, wow, if that had a green border, it would look much nicer. I don't know, but I think I've got one. Yeah. Put a green border on it. Get rid of the whatever that was. It'll change it even more. Yeah. Yeah. Well, over to you lot.
Interesting.
Make it a bit darker. Depends on the camera angle. That's not far off. You see what I'm on about? When the pencil lines, I can rub them out. If I rub all those out, because they're detracting at the moment, and then add some more highlights, I think I'll be all right. Oh.
Looks good.
I'm looking
Definite
forward.
challenge. Not one I'm looking forward to in acrylic, I must say. might be time for a watercolour pencil one.
Well, hang on, I'm going to move.
Just unmute it down, okay?
Okay. all right.
Okay.
Oh, starting me coughing now.
I'll mute your screen.
No, I'm fine. I don't know. I can't see. It looks different to what it. It's not as bright as that. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's just one of those pictures, I think. There's more colour in it than it looks on the screen. Weird. Because the palette is right, but the painting's slightly muted. Ooh. Over to you lot.
Thanks.
You'll be
Right.
fine.
Who's looking forward to this one then? Gordon,
Yeah.
I expect it's the only person.
I would have said it was a I did consider that it's right up Gordon Street, this,
Mm.
because remember he did the painting and decorating one, didn't he? The ladder, the paint dripping over, and the brush.
That's right.
Didn't Judy used to draw bottles, and I remember seeing she did a couple of paintings like that, didn't she?
I can't.
Did you ever hear from her?
No, Terry rings her up,
All right.
but I haven't heard from him for ages either. But he rings Anne and Gordon, doesn't he? So
Yeah.
Yeah, he rings me, yeah.
Mm.
He's
Yeah,
slowed down. I only get a phone call once every 2 weeks now.
yeah,
Mm.
he's
It's January, isn't it? He gets his sad.
Right.
yeah. He usually rings me up for so I give him a pep talk or a rollicking about
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
You know, so Terry, at your age, you can't be depressed. The only reason you're depressed is because you're old, sort of thing, you know. And he's going, blah, 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 blah.
Dear.
You've got nothing to worry about,
oh.
you know.
Right, Dave, I'd like to thank you for doing this subject, because tonight I've got to drink half a bottle of wine to replicate it.
Ah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, you just give me the nod, Gord. I'll look after you, mate.
Yeah, okay, mate.
I've got. Oh dear. I've got some good ones coming up. The portrait. I think we've got Stan. I'm looking forward to Stan Laurel. I think that's next
Oh.
week, isn't it? I love that. I love doing that Indian one, the sitting bull. I really enjoyed that. So I've gone off and got Geronimo now.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
And the other thing I found, there's a couple. It's more. There's a moonscape one, but it's not like the other one was. It's much subtler, and a sort of a moon seascape, you know, moonlighty type one. That looked really good. So I've got a couple of those floating around. When I get a minute, I'll put them up.
Yeah.
But it does change, because I spot something, I think, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I've got magazines here that I've been keeping and to utilize. And even if that's why I went on, I'll go on that course. Well, it's not a course, it's a demo, and it sort of, and but I've got the reference image, so now after it's finished, you don't need to go on the course or the demo, because we're going to be doing it.
Oh.
The beauty of it is a bit like me doing this. I make a mistake so you can improve on what I'm doing, or hopefully. So I'm going to be watching him thinking, yeah, all right, yeah, all right. But I'm going to add this. So I'm going to hopefully make it better. But the guy that he's doing is, I don't know who he is. I don't think he's anybody particular, but it's a guy with coloured dark skin, which is always fascinating for me. How you approach it differently, maybe not differently, but what colours and the technical bits of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But as I say, if you know how to, if you know how to do it, you can play with your keyboard a bit and record the session anyway.
We'll leave that to you, Dave.
Well, otherwise I don't know, but I've got a funny feeling in this particular one that even if you attend it and you're part of it and watch it and see it, and like we do here now, but they don't post you a link to the video afterwards.
Right.
They want you to pay another 15 quid for the video.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, I ain't doing that. I might as well just buy the video in the first place.
Yeah.
But you lose something a little bit, and then so no, I'm not doing that. So I'm going to join and record it just in case.
Yeah.
I know they might do the video, but I don't think they do. Well, get fed up with paying out too much for these things.
Yeah. Never ending.
It does mount up. But those scrawler box things, they're worth it. If you don't mind, but in the end, well, they are worth it. They're fascinating, but in the end, I've got two
Doubled up
really
on
useful
stuff.
box, really useful 10-litre boxes full of stuff from them. Yeah, that I ain't never going to use, and that's why. I was going to tell. Oh, I don't know. I've got a big box of acrylic paints here. I ain't going to use them. I've decided it's my birthday coming up, isn't it? Is it? Not next. Yeah, it's 30th. So and I'm thinking, nah, this is stupid. You ain't got time to start diluting what you do. Do watercolors and leave it at that. So having 100 quid's worth box full of acrylic paints isn't really doing much for me, and they're just sitting there, and I'm not giving them, I'm not using them. So
What brand are they, Dave?
yeah, only the finest quality. Some of them are System 7s. There's loads of them. I'll send you a picture of it. I'll open the box up. There's loads in there, and quite a few whites. Yeah, and I might just wait till your birthday and post it to you.
A little while to wait. Another 6 months. We might be able to meet up in person by then. I mean, all of us, not just you.
Yeah.
Sounded good, didn't it?
Well,
Do you think that'll happen sort of later on this year? Or?
Callum's a piece of string. I don't see why it shouldn't really. A lot of it's down to James and Mel, because if they're still feeling edgy, then it's going to make it a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to the church, or I don't speak to them that often since they got hit by the comet and that. Just I keep making up stuff, but I haven't spoke to them. They only speak to me when they need something, or well, it's just fair enough. I'm not whinging about it, but I'm not in the direct loop. but I did notice that Catherine's starting a few of the toddler groups up again in February. But even that, it still says, and the Sunday morning kiddies school as well. So, you know, church service. So they must be thinking coming out. But I wanted to do it on a Saturday anyway. So, you know, have it as an open dude. So people can come if they want to, just come sit down, have a coffee and chat and then go back the day doing shopping and that, or whatever they're doing, which I thought was a much neater idea. If you want to do some painting, do it. If you don't, if you want to ask some questions, you know, more of an open thing. And if I can, that my idea was to have it in the front of the church, where we used to in the vestibule. Remember the good old days when we were at the front? That little, well, the front of the vestibule, wasn't it? That was
That's all
scary.
full of vegetables now, because because I go to Tai Chi there, we do it in the church behind the front bit. And he's always packing up boxes to give to people.
Well, it's supposed, well,
It's like a shop in there, really.
yeah, I know, it's for the pool pantry, isn't it? Failing that, we'll have to go in the old room again then. Well, I just thought it'd be nicer in the front, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's got to be is it a church or is it a bloody shop, you know? Sort yourselves out, mate. I'll just move them out. I don't think it's that bad. I think there's fridges and that in there, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been to them, but they've got them at Roswell at the library as well, apparently. And it's just no money changes hands. It's just like a war on waste, really. You know, people don't want to save food going to waste, going to landfill. They just give it to the community.
Well, we'll see how the land lies.
Excuse me a minute.
But it won't be a Tuesday again, because there's no space. It's all been booked up.
Right.
It's one thing I've noticed over the last months and what have you, is that there's loads of groups trying to get into space, you know, into halls and that.
Right.
And they all want Tuesday mornings.
Well, perhaps we ought to just all meet up for lunch or something. Just so, you know, just be nice to see everybody, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's not good for Stephen, is it? Whatever happens, I've got to include Stephen.
Yeah.
If you want him ringing you up, Chrissy, just let me know.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I've never given him
Whatever happens, we've got to include Stephen and Terry, and we've got Julie.
Yeah. Do you ever hear from Julie?
No, as I say, Terry's rings her up. She's moved house, I know that.
Oh, has she?
Yeah, Terry told me that.
Oh, well. I better go.
What I don't want to do is all that hassle of running around the church trying to find tables and chairs. And it was, you know, I had to leave home at 6 o'clock in the morning to get the pool or get the parks down, and then I'd get to the church and open it up for what, 6:45 or 7 o'clock, and then spend half my time running around, clearing out the bloody mess that's been left or avoiding dead food and junk everywhere, and then moving stuff so that I can put our tables and chairs, and then I had to go upstairs and roll the chairs down the stairs from the whatever. I don't want to do that again, and it's not fair.
No.
I'm
quite happy doing the Zoom meetings, because I think we're all getting a lot more done.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
I was saying last week, I was talking to Hayden yesterday. He rang up about something, and well, his hidden reason was, what can I do? Dave, what? He always says we. You're in the same situation. You paint Muddyford, you do this, blah blah blah. But now the hayloft's shut. Don't know about the gardens in summer, and you know it's only the Muddyford festivals for the weekend. What can we do? What can we, you know? And because all I'm doing is sitting on me arse for the last 2 years, looking out the window. I'm lost his mojo doing painting and all the rest of it. My instant reply was, I'm fine now. I paint at least 52 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we're only doing it for a XY period, an hour's worth of painting or an hour and a half's worth of painting, and you can only go so far, but you can break the back of the thing and sort it out. And then I've got a few days, as I say, I love Wednesday morning because I can look at it bone dry and think, oh, and then I'll put it on the easel next to the bed and then wake up in the morning and think, do you know what, that needs a bit of soda, and the trees. And then by Saturday or something, or Friday or Saturday, Gordon has sent me one, Chrissy has sent me one. I'll look at theirs and I think, oh, I need to do that. I need a bit extra on there. Yeah, that or there'll be a bit of it, and I think, yeah, she's got that right, or he's got that right. I'm going to add. So Sunday, I'll be just on. Oh, Monday, yeah, I've got a bit. Like a bit here or there. It's balance, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah, the Tuesday's always a sort of or it's like dirty dirt. You go, you come, and that's it. But this, it isn't like that.
No, this
It
makes
carries on.
makes you do it.
That's right. Yeah.
It does.
It
I
does
was
make
thinking yesterday. I was thinking perhaps that ought to get Hayden to join our Tuesday group. This is guaranteed. I think what his plan or his idea was to create, you know, carry on with the internet presence and try and sell stuff, but form a group like as him, me, Andrea, that have always been like close together. Years ago, we used to rent the hayloft together as a group, and he was trying to work out what to call it and all the rest of it, you know, to attract people. A bit like the Newlyn School, or you know, not obviously can't do that, but what words to use? I came up with the word collective at one stage. I was thinking the Dorset Art Collective or something, .co.uk or .com, but that doesn't sell Muddyford Quay, so it's got to be something else. So anyway, let them have a think about it. Depends if Andrea pays her internet bill. Well, no, that's another story. I got a canoe coming today.
A canoe?
Okadoo. Don't you have Okadoo?
I thought you said you've got a canoe coming.
I thought you said that.
Everyone calls them Okadoo. I call them Okadoo. Hello, hello, it's the bloke from Okadoo.
Not the man from Tamonte.
Right, I'm starving. I'm going.
Yeah.
Yes, it's lunchtime.
20 to 2.
Yeah, 20 to 1.
Oh, I just got back to say goodbye.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, we're all going now. So,
Yeah, okay then. Well, good luck with the painting.
yeah. Hope you feel better, Anne, soon.
Very much.
Yes,
thank you.
yes.
I hope
Take
so.
care.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Thanks, Diane.
See everybody next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay then. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Get the brushes in and get going.
Yeah. Got to
Bye.
draw it first.
Printing my picture off now, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh. Come on.
Well, nobody's gone now because you said that.
Yeah.
You've stopped them going.
Oh,
Sorry.
right, leave it.
Go on, everybody.
Yeah.
Go. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Dave.
Cheers. Oh, thank you, madam.
Mm.
No, I think since we first got married, we collected the first day covers, the Christmas ones.
Mm.
We even went to Bethlehem to get the postmark, and in the summer, and they sent it to us. You know, you buy it in the summer, and they sent it to you ready for Christmas with the new stamps on.
Right.
Oh,
And it got, with the kids growing up, you lapse these things. And I only just recently started filling in all the gaps between the 30 odd years, like, you know. And but you can get them on eBay and different places. But what I always find fascinating is I order it, it might cost about, I don't know, £6-7 for the you know, first day cover. But all these stamp dealers, when they send you an envelope, they plaster it with stamps. But, you know, for no reason other than the fact they got a lot of stamps. Look at this. This
Oh
is
my
the one that came
goodness.
today.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's just a normal A5 letter. It's not a large letter as such.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. The stamp, the letter they sent is very often more interesting than the first day
Yeah.
cover.
oh,
I can't even remember which one I bought. I think it's 1968, this one. Yeah. 1968. So that's older than all my kids.
Wow.
Gosh.
Yeah, I just stick them in the and it's attached
still
to
at
a
school.
piece of card that was originally 12 mince pies.
Ah.
oh.
Stop it bending in the post. Yeah,
Mm.
that's just something I thought I did. They're never going to be worth any money, but
It's an interest, isn't it?
Yeah.
well, I've expanded it somewhat. It is sort of art related. And I'm also, every time I buy one, like an English one, I buy a Canadian one. So I've got to find a 1968 Canadian first day cover now.
Mm.
Got to expand it a little bit. Otherwise, you'd end up with books and books of stamps.
Mm.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But I quite enjoy that. They're lovely pictures, some of them, and you know, historical, isn't it, as well?
Mm.
What's happened to our Gordon?
I'm just texting Anne. Anne hasn't been very well. She ended up in A&E one evening.
Oh, dear.
Just
Oh,
her.
wow.
It's her oxygen levels and breathing. She was
Right.
struggling, but they did send her home. They didn't keep her in.
Right.
She was feeling a little bit better yesterday. I'm just texting her to ask.
Mm.
Struggling to get in as well.
Yeah.
Well, they've got the links. I've sent to Anne and Gordon, so
Yeah. Oh well.
it should be all right. Anyway, today's subject, I'm scared of it.
Oh, glad you
You're
are.
scared of it?
Not much hope for us then.
Oh.
Oh, glass. Lots of it.
Well, anyway, we'll get to that in a minute.
I must say to Carol, fan brushes.
Yeah.
I was having the same problem as you, and I decided, as you said, that perhaps it was too soft. So
Yeah.
I ordered a different one, which is a bristle one.
Right.
It arrived yesterday. I tried it very briefly last night, and it works.
Oh, right.
So bristle fan brush is the way to go.
Right. Right.
Is
Okay.
it was it Terry Harrison one?
Unfortunately, not. No.
I like them. That's
I
ones
know you do, and I've got a couple, but I haven't got a fan brush. And
they're bristle. They are bristle.
yes, I know they are, but I haven't got one, and I just spent out something else on Terry Harrison, so I.
Oh well, you got to spread the load, haven't you?
My art fund was a little bit light at the moment.
I've just
I've
had
been
a
really good.
a
I've
reply
been-
from Anne. Oh, sorry. I've just had a
Sorry.
reply from Anne. She said she's talking to the doc. So obviously she's on the
Right.
phone.
They might
Right.
turn up.
They'll be with us eventually.
Yeah.
Well, I've had it last week, wasn't I? I was expecting a call from the doctor at lunchtime, but she
Oh,
rang
okay.
early
Yeah.
morning, sort of
Yeah.
9 o'clock. So, what's wrong with you? Yeah.
Good morning to
Uh,
you too.
Oh, okay. All right then. Well, hang on.
Got a list.
3:05 tomorrow. Is that all right? Come and see me. So I did that.
Wow.
Then she said, "Well, you're all right. Blah, 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 blah. Better have some blood tests. You should have them every year anyway. I don't know what you're doing." So I went out to reception and said, "Doctor says I've got to have a blood test," and she wrote it on a piece of paper for me too. Right, you know, blood test. And the receptionist was all right about it. She sort of said, "Oh, who are you?" So don't you start.
Oh, dear.
Well, you can have next week or 12:58 tomorrow. I said, "Well, we'll go for that then, shall I? Get it over and done with." You know, and I just jokingly said to her, "Well, best to strike while the iron's hot. In this case, the needle."
Oh, dear.
I had to have blood tests as well since last Tuesday. I had the doctor's Tuesday afternoon, and I had blood tests then, and blood pressure check, and they said my blood pressure is a bit high, so I had to have a med review, and then to go back in, and then and then I went back. I had a phone call from the receptionist just saying, "Oh, can you book another blood test?" If the doctor wasn't 100% pleased with the one we do it before. So I got there, and the doctor said, looked on the screen, "Oh, I've got no record of it whatsoever." So I think they must have lost it.
Oh.
So I had to go through it all again.
Oh.
And,
Bad luck.
and now I'm doing a blood pressure check twice a day for a week. So that finishes today. So
The doctor, when took my blood pressure, but did it 3 times. I usually do it at least twice, a couple of times, because the first one's usually, and get a balance between all 3, because you get white coat syndrome. You're naturally sort of tense when you go in to see the doctor.
That's right.
Especially if you like me, because I don't know how to. If it was Mel, she'd say, "Right, I've got this, and this. I've got that, and I'm there going, "But I think I don't know how to describe it." Oh,
well, one
your
good thing.
ankle's swollen. I thought that one I can grab. They're fine.
One good thing that really surprised me, though, seeing as I hadn't been to the doctors for 2 years since pre-COVID, as I took my coat off to have the blood test, and afterwards the doctor says, "Is there anything else that you want to ask me about?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know." And he said, "Oh, I noticed you struggled a bit taking your jacket off." I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "I've had a poorly shoulder." I said, "That's been going for months." I said. So he said, "Right, take your coat off again." So off came the coat, and I booked in for a cortisone injection. He said, "I've got
frozen shoulder,
rotator cuff injury." And now that was last February that it first started playing up. And I know why. I was moving my very heavily laden king-size bed across the room so that I could hoover under it, my annual treat. And I felt it go when I did it. So I know exactly what it was. And I've just put up with it. But no, so I'm going to have a cortisone injection. Lucky old me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. Anyway. Oh, look.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
Every week I get these images come across, either by email or Facebook or something, and every week I sort of go, I don't swear loudly, but I sort of go, "Oh, flipping heck." Just like, blimey. I can't, and then I get these flashbacks going through my head like, oh, I hate trees. I can't do trees. Oh, yeah, I hate them too, but
Oh, I don't mind doing these trees. They're easier, I think, than with the leaves on.
Yeah.
I did get a bit carried away with them. Sorry.
I just think it's good. You should do more of it. If you, it's a bit like years ago when I still get it to a degree with the anxiety syndrome. People call it panic attacks and all the rest of it. There's certain things I still won't do because I won't put myself in that situation. But one of the things that I did it's like, if you can't do it, force yourself to do something that puts you in a situation where you've got to cope. You've got to do it. And one of them was, that's why I started playing in the band. You know, going up on stage, you've got 5, 6 people around you that are relying on you to do stuff. So if you're singing as well, you're the lead vocalist or whatever, you can't let them down. So you can have as many panic attacks and whatever as you like. You just got to push through.
Yeah.
And it didn't actually teach you. It didn't teach me to get rid of them, but it taught me that it was possible. That was what a clever boy I am. You look at that image and it looks really nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the one that I received was like that.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
All blurred and.
Did I not take the picture very well?
Well, that's
Probably
the one
not.
that you sent me, and it came in like that. But luckily, I've got some software that handles that.
Yeah. Well, that looks better, doesn't it?
Oh, slightly. I think we could sell that one.
I was thinking, oh, I don't know. It's not very good. Wow, not very good.
No.
I like the energy of your trees. You can almost feel like the wind sort of blowing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some bird's nests in that
Yeah, I thought, well, I should put
Yeah.
those in.
And that tail, I love the tail.
Yeah.
one. It's great, isn't it? Because now your trademark's going to be a horse with a little figure on it. And mine's going to be the bike with Morning Fred on it. Well done, Chrissy. Look at this one.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really good.
Got a
Isn't
nice
Wow.
blue for the sky.
Yeah.
that's gorgeous.
It's just serene.
And it took her 10 minutes. She couldn't work out what we was all on about.
Looks very dark.
Yeah, but I can lighten that.
It's a wintry morning.
About 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen 6
Oh
o'clock
no,
in
it
the
wouldn't
morning.
be, would it? Because you've got a blue sky.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
No, it's not easy in this one, but I can lighten them as well so that they look like totally different. Is it on canvas, Chris, or board?
Paper,
Oh, wow.
just on paper.
Did you stretch it or stick it down?
No, it's just straight out of the book.
Done a good job there.
Mm.
It hasn't gone wavy too much. Nothing, has it?
Not yet. Not there.
Oh.
It's now. Looks like a switchback now.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good one. There.
Oh,
Joyce has got her
Yeah.
active walker in there. That's her trademark now.
Good.
yeah.
Yeah, he's still in training.
Yeah.
I love those trees.
That's nice. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I love the way that we've all done something different.
Different. Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Every time Joyce bungs one at me, it's like, how does she do that?
No
It's
secret,
not
Dave,
criticism,
honestly.
it's envy.
Oh, gosh.
Well, no, I haven't got it in me to do that. It's just what you do, isn't it?
It's what I do, yeah.
You're very
Yeah.
unique style.
Bit brighter, and I can
It's lovely.
go like that and make it a bit sharper.
I think we all need this software, update.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at this one.
Oh,
Well, that's nice.
oh, I love those trees. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, really nice.
Who's that then?
That's
that's
our
me.
Paulie.
Oh,
Yeah,
well
lovely.
done. Wow.
Make it a bit darker.
Mm.
I did
Sure.
use the fan brush a bit, but I found that if I
Sharpen
don't
it.
wet it and just sort of dip it in the paint, just the tips, it's better than if you actually wet the fan brush.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a
And
bit
I
like
get
what I do.
blobby.
Yeah,
So
kind of do that myself.
yeah.
That's what I say very often. I'm only using like the fan goes out like that. I'm not just using the first three sort of
Mm.
what are they called? Hairs on the brush, or what are they called? Bristles.
Bristles.
Yeah. I must admit, I've been really good lately, and I've stopped myself from buying any art stuff, naughty stuff in it. I've really done a good job there.
You still got those boxes that you used to get?
Yeah. What, the blue ones?
The ones that have,
Scribble or scribble?
oh
was it?
yes, yeah,
Scribble?
something like that.
Used to have them every month. With
Oh,
different things in.
scrawler boxes.
Scrawler.
Mm.
Scrawler, that's what it was.
Close.
No, I don't.
All right.
I stopped it. I was thinking, hang on. You know, I think it went up to £14 a month, which in itself isn't a bad thing. But then if you add it up over the year, it's sort of 160 quid or whatever. And I thought, do you know what? I could buy a lot of art. I could buy a whole pack of art paper of my own for that. So it wasn't, but I still reckon I would do it. But they do send me emails every now and then with special offers on the previous packs. They obviously have overs.
Right.
So sometimes I'm tempted to buy one for a tenner or whatever it is, you know.
Oh, excuse me a minute.
Problem is these days, or one of the issues, is bloody postage.
Mhm.
Yeah, for example, I mean, it's not really art related, but I wanted to buy a gizmo from my other hobby, the astronomy stuff. And then I went on the website and it was a thing, and the gizmo was 40 quid. And I thought, oh, yeah, go on then, I'll do that. Then when you get to the checkout, they stick the carriage on, it suddenly becomes more like 50 quid.
Yeah.
Which is, and I'm thinking, oh, that's like a quarter extra, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So in the end, I highlighted the text, right clicked on the mouse and said search, Google search for that item. And somebody else came up with someone that was selling it, you know, proper company, and it was 35 quid. And with carriage, it ended up being 40, just over 41 quid. It was 41, 40,
right.
69
Well,
or
that's
something.
better. Yeah.
So I said, well, I'll do that then. And do you know what? It came at 8 o'clock this morning.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
order it
That's
till
great.
yesterday
Yeah.
afternoon.
It's down in Gordon.
Hi.
Mr. Right.
Could be
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
Hello.
Hello, David. Can I apologise for being late this morning? And
Hope you got a sick note.
oh, my picture's gone. Can you still hear me and see me?
See you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a launch meeting come up. Okay, hello, Christine. Yeah, sorry, Dave. Anne's not very well. She will be joining and watching in a minute, but she'll probably be on mute in case she starts coughing or can't talk. So at the moment, we're just getting up and sort of sorting out. We've had a doctor's meeting this morning on the telephone, so that's what's been holding us up. So you continue with your class, and so we'll pop in and out. All right.
we were just chewing the cud, as they say on the farm.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that bottle of wine. I'll tell you that. Anyway, I'll catch you up in a minute.